Hello and welcome to your 20-minute mobility routine, specifically designed with parkour people in mind. So this should help if you're feeling a little bit stiff after a training session, but it will help anyone that is exercising a lot, using their body a lot and feeling a little bit stiff. So let's jump straight in with a hip flexor stretch. For this one, I'd recommend a cushion under your knee, but a carpet like this can also work. By the way, I'm purposefully doing this just on my rug in the living room to show that you don't need to roll out your mat and do a whole setup. Like, you can just do this while you're watching TV in the evenings. So first things first, if you have any injuries, existing or past injuries, listen to your body. If anything hurts or causes pain inside the joint, anything causes pain during any of the exercises or is building up over the session, then please stop immediately. Seek advice from your healthcare professional. You could also skip that exercise and join back in at the next one. And if that doesn't bother that area, fine. And then finally, what else was I going to say? I don't know. Maybe that's it. Listen to your body. Don't get injured. So, hip flexor stretch. You're going to start with one knee kneeling on the cushion, one foot out in front. Make sure your foot's not too close to you. Have it like out in front, ideally your shin vertical to the floor, perpendicular to the floor. And then from here, try and do a posterior pelvic tilt. So that's where you tuck your bum under, like you're hiding your bum, like you're slouching a little bit and you're squeezing your glutes. And this should help open up the front of the hip flexors here. Then from here, you're going to reach both arms up and pull this arm, grab hold of the wrist and pull it across. So if we're stretching the right hip, we're pulling the arm over, the right arm over. So we're trying to get stretched down the triceps, lats, obliques, hip flexors, all the way down here. I'm just going to hold here. So again, squeezing your hip, ideally that posterior pelvic tilt is really going to bring on the stretch. There is another thing that's good for this stretch, is to think of pushing your knee down into the ground firmly and pushing this front foot down into the ground firmly. And then think of dragging this front heel back and pushing this back knee forwards. So you're pushing these 2 points towards each other. They don't actually move because you're pushing down and then dragging back and pushing forward. And that is going to really ramp up the stretch. Awesome, we're going to change side. We're aiming for about 45 seconds on each side. So once you know these exercises and you kind of know the routine, you can just do this without the video. So that's what I mean, like you could put the TV on and you know you always do hip flexor stretch, then quad stretch, then glute stretch and so on. So again, tucking the tailbone under, squeezing the glutes, reach up and over and hold. Now think of pushing that front foot down into the floor, pushing the back knee down into the floor. I don't know if you can hear, but there was a load of geese, I think, flying over. Anyway, push your front foot down into the floor. This one. Push your back knee down into the floor. And then think of dragging the 2 points closer to one another. And that will really ramp up the stretch here. Nice little extra tip I learned from someone. I actually learned that one earlier this year on a kettlebells course. But it's a really good one. And relax. We're going to progress this into a quad stretch. So you probably, if you've trained for a while, you'll probably have seen this stretch before. The couch stretch. Again, cushioning under the knee is good because the knee is quite sensitive, quite delicate. So rather than putting it straight onto the floor, have a cushion underneath. When you use something like a couch, you could do this against a flat wall as well. You could do it against the chair, but an armchair, something a bit lower is better. So you're going to place one knee on the cushion and have your foot resting on the sofa. And then once you've done that, try and move this knee back so it's right under the sofa, or not under the sofa, but right at the front of the sofa. And then bring the other foot out in front for comfort. From here, I would always start low. Don't just stand straight up. Start low, squeeze your glutes. Again, tuck your tailbone under. We're trying to get hip extension. Then lean onto your thigh at the front and come to here. Same thing, posterior pelvic tilt. If you're doing it right, you should already have a big stretch. Now it's not just hip flexors, it's into the quads as well. This should be enough if you're doing it right. Unless you haven't trained and like your muscles are very relaxed or you're very mobile. But if you've been jumping a lot, this should be a quad stretch. Now, obviously, if it is manageable and you want to increase it a bit, you can start to push yourself back. But you're trying not to lose that posterior pelvic tilt where your tailbone is tucked under and you're slowly going to come back, but we're always trying to open at the front of the hips. There shouldn't be a fold at the hip. If you had a fold at the hip, it would look like this. So you've come up, but you've pushed your bum back. Instead, hips stay open at the front as you lean back. Try to avoid overarching your lower back. Should be a big stretch now. Great, and relax. For that one, again, 30 seconds on each side, 45 seconds, a minute, all of that is great. If it's super intense, start with 30 seconds and build up. Let's change to the other side. So again, we start low, squeeze the glutes, then come up to here. Keep trying to open the front of the hip and then slowly push yourself back. The closer your knee is to this couch, the bigger the stretch. If you're really struggling with this and it's just way too intense, first of all, stay down here where you can manage the stretch, where it's manageable. But if you still need it to be a bit easier, then you move your knee forwards away from the couch. Repeat all the steps. Now this is still a quad stretch, but it's less intense because I brought my knee forwards away from the sofa. So you've got options here. Find the right thing where you can feel the stretch, definitely, but you're not wincing and trying to like retract from the stretch, because that's not going to help. We want to be able to breathe and relax as much as possible into the stretch. Great. Slowly, you can slide your foot towards the midline to come out of the stretch, and voila. Good. To give your lower body a rest, we're going to do some upper body stretches. Again, a cushion can be good, not mandatory, but can be good for this stretch. We're going to, we're coming to that one second. First, we're going to do a lat stretch. So, on your mat or on your floor, wherever you are, child's pose from yoga. So, feet together, knees wide. You're going to sit back into this child's pose position. And then from here, you're going to walk your hands all the way to the left and walk them forwards as far as you can. Get a big stretch here. This should bring on a stretch down your lats, which are these muscles here that go down the side of your body. So as you walk your hands to the left, you should feel a stretch down the right side of your body. From here, I want you to come up onto your fingertips, push your hands into the floor, breathe in, and then as you breathe out, try and walk your fingertips a bit further away from you to increase the stretch. So we're moving to the left and forwards and lengthening our arms as much as possible, like you're trying to make your arms longer. You're going to breathe in, come up onto your fingertips, and then exhale, relax. You're going to hold the stretch, breathing in, come up onto your fingertips, and then exhale, relax. If it feels possible, every time you relax, you can try and reach a bit further. But if you've reached the limit, you're just going to hold here, still coming up onto your fingertips as you inhale, and then exhaling back down. Five breaths on this side. Now we move over to the other side. Same thing. So breathing in, up into your fingertips. As you breathe out, try and walk your fingertips a bit further away from you on the mat. Breathing in and breathing out. 3 more here in your own time. Then slowly coming back to center. Now we're going to do these 2 exercises. I'm thinking about space. Okay, we'll do the first one first. Book openers. You might have seen these before if you've worked with me one-to-one. I love a book opener, so I've probably given it to you to do before. This is a great stretch for your pec muscles, but also great mobility for the upper thoracic spine. So lying on your side like you're sleeping, you can do this just on the floor, or if you're someone that has quite big shoulders, then it can feel like you're really far from the floor. So putting a cushion underneath feels more comfortable. I tend to do it without. I'm not saying I have big shoulders, but for demonstration purposes, I'm putting the cushion here. Lying on your side. Really lie on your side. Make sure you're not just like lying back on your back or like slouching back, like directly on your side. One hip on top of the other. Knees in front of your hips. Hands together like you've clapped. And then you're going to lift one hand up. Keep this hand on the floor. Keep one hand on the floor and rotate like you want to look at the ceiling. Take a look at your ceiling. And then this other hand, keep it going and try and get it to the floor. If it doesn't get there straight away, let gravity do the work. Try and stay here. Let the hands slowly get lower and lower. And then come back. 5 of these. Notice what your legs are doing. They shouldn't be coming along for the ride like this. We're trying to keep the legs firmly together. Imagine there's like a weight plate pushing your legs down. So the legs don't move. Oh, I'm feeling stiff today. 3, we're going to do 5 of these. 4. 5. If your hand still didn't get to the floor, do not worry. Repeat this for a few weeks and your hand will almost certainly get to the floor. So it might just be stiff now, but if you repeat this, your body will get used to it. And again, like you've got gravity helping you, literally like a weight pushing you down. So keep doing it. Other side, knees firmly together. Whoa, this side feels way more open to me. So one side might be more mobile and one side might be stiffer. I think that's pretty normal. Good, 5 on this side as well. Now I wanted to introduce you to the arm circles, which is a great stretch for your lats. And again, a lot of us who do parkour will have tight lats. So this arm circle exercise, side lying arm circles, will stretch both your lats but also your pecs. So 2 big muscles in one go, which is great. Just thinking how best to show you. I think I'm going to do it here because you need space. Let me come back a bit, make sure I'm in shot. You need space overhead. You need quite a lot of space overhead. So wherever you're setting up, make sure. I would avoid doing this movement and sort of dodging all the different furniture in your living room because you're not going to get as good a stretch. So just try and find a corner where there's a bit more space. And you're going to lie like this, exactly how we were lying before. So like this. And now, keeping your legs together, you're going to take the top hand and it's like you're trying to clean the floor or you're checking for dust. You're going to slide your fingertips along the floor. They're going to go over your head. This is the lat stretch. And then now we move into a bit of a pec stretch as well. Knees are still together. Take your arm all the way over and all the way to the side. We finish in the same position as that book opener. And then come back the way you came. For some people, your hand's going to lift off at some points. That's okay. But just try with time to really reach for the floor. Now, I realized my mic was like right in my neck as I was talking, so I'm going to say that all one more time. So, lying on your side like we did a second ago. This time, take the arm overhead. Your hand sliding along the floor like you're feeling for dust. Reach up overhead. Watch that. See how my elbow doesn't bend. Your arm should be fully straight. I'm going to go over your head. If your hand does leave the ground at any point, don't stress. But over time, really try and reach for the floor the whole way around. And then you're finishing in the same position we were in at the end of the book opener. Here you get a nice pec stretch across the chest and then back the way you came, still trying to keep your fingertips in touch or in contact with the ground. Great, let's do one more on this side. Fantastic. Great. 3 on the other side as well. So make sure you do both sides. I can't see you right now, or I can't see myself right now, but hopefully you can see all of this. But yeah, try not to be like dodging armchairs and sofas. Try and have a nice clear space where you can really reach overhead. The rest of your body can be wedged in between all the furniture, but just the bit overhead, like your sort of halo, try and keep that free. Okay, fantastic. 3 of those on each side. Right, I definitely want to introduce you to a soleus stretch. Let me just check if there's anything else that was important. Hamstrings and soleus, and we should do glutes as well. So let's do the soleus stretch, because this one's important. This one I really liked it, and I think it's really useful for parkour, because the soleus is one of your calf muscles. So if you think of your calf, you have the gastrocnemius, which is the big bulgy one that we think of as the calf, and then the soleus is a thin flat muscle behind, and this they also call it your jumping muscle, so we use it a lot when we're jumping. So we're going to sit kneeling like this and place our foot next to our knee like that. If you have a very tight soleus, you will feel a stretch here just doing this, but for most people that won't be enough. So what we want to do is place our hands on our knee and lean forwards. Never let the heel leave the ground. This heel must not come up, or you won't feel a stretch. And there I can start to feel the start of a stretch. If you need more of a stretch, you bring your toes back. So I always use my knee as a reference. So bring your toes back further than the knee. Then again, you lean forward. If you just get pinching at the front of the ankle, then shake it out, stand up for a second and reset. And you've gone too far for what your ankle can manage right now. So ease out of the stretch and see if you can feel it by bringing your foot forward instead. But the key part is leaning on this thigh, leaning forwards. You might not feel it straight away, but try and hold it for the 30 to 45 seconds, because as you stay in the stretch, it may well build up and you may well start to sense it. And you can really feel this muscle, like where it is coming all the way up behind your lower limb. Great, keep holding the stretch. Soleus muscle, soleus stretch. SOLEUS, I think. Great, and change sides. So start kneeling, then bring one foot flat on the floor. Always start easy. Don't go straight into your deepest stretch ever, and start leaning forward. See how that feels. If you need more of a stretch, you bring the toes back. On this side, I'm keeping it there. I had a bad ankle sprain in maybe March or April. So that limits me in this stretch now, because I start to get a little bit of, it's not actually even pain anymore, but just a bit of discomfort on the outer ankle. So I'm not going to push it any further. But actually, as I stay here, I can feel the soleus. Again, it's not a stretch where I'm like clenching my teeth. It's not super intense. That's fine. But it's definitely lengthening the muscle. Great. We're going to do the last 2 stretches, glute stretch and hamstring stretch. For your glute stretch, we're going to do a simple pigeon, but when you're in a plank position and you bring the leg into that pigeon stretch, ideally we want the shin sort of parallel to your hands, rather than the foot sort of back underneath you. However, if like me, when you're in this position, you can't immediately get your knee to the floor, and this knee over here, let me show you on the other leg. If you can't immediately get the knee to the floor, and you can't get the glute to the floor, then I would highly encourage you to put some cushions underneath. Okay, so we might start with a lot of cushions. No shame in that. And then as we get more comfortable in the stretch, we can take them away. So I want you to be here. My shin is parallel to where my hands were, or parallel to the end of this rug. I can feel a gentle glute stretch, but I'm not dying. It's nice, isn't it? And I can keep this position. Now, you want to encourage the opposite hip, the front of this hip, to come down towards the floor. And that's going to increase the stretch. For me, this is already a nice glute stretch. It's not crazy, but I can definitely feel it. I could take away one cushion. And you can do the same if you're feeling like you're easing into the stretch. Actually, for me, this now is a good glute stretch. You don't need to go to that point where it's like so painful that you can't breathe and relax. It's good news, isn't it? And I appreciate that for some of you, even this might be super intense. We all have that muscle that's like, oh. For me, it's like my upper back and my traps. They're pretty sore. And my quads, to be fair. Okay, let's switch to the other side. Remember, just because that leg warmed up doesn't mean the other is. So I'm going to put all the cushions back. I'm going to start here. Remember, we're trying to bring the opposite hip forwards. Keep breathing throughout. So just breathing however comes naturally to you. Then if you're starting to get a little bit comfortable here, you might want to take one of the cushions away. Might be the one under the knee or the one under the hip, whichever feels right. Or experiment, whatever feels like it's working for you. You should feel a good stretch deep in the glutes. Glutes being the bum muscles, just in case that wasn't clear. Great, 30 to 60 seconds here as well. And then slowly come out. Great, we're going to finish with a hamstring stretch, which for some people will be super chill. A lot of people have very flexible hamstrings, actually. I'm surprised, but there are a lot of people that have very tight hamstrings as well. So we're going to have, so for those people, this can be hell, but that's fine. 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, like this. Feet flat on the floor, push your bums back. And then reach down over your foot. Get a nice single leg stretch all down this leg. Breathe in. Adjust your socks if you need to. Breathe out. Again, if you can't reach for your foot, you can place your hand on your knee, on your shin. Without hurting yourself, don't put so much weight, but just support your body here as you push your hips back. Great, you're going to come back up, change side. Same thing. Feet flat, push your hips back and rest your hands on your thigh, on your shin, or on your foot. Feel a good stretch going down the back of the hamstrings here. Try and breathe in and out. Try and relax as much as possible. So this is a good one because, again, gravity is pulling you down and kind of forcing you a bit more deeper into the stretch. There's one more hamstring stretch I like, which is where take a seat on the floor. Instead of going straight into a straddle, which is this, you bend one leg, so into a half straddle. Again, easy one to do when you're watching TV. And just this, for someone with tight hamstrings, is going to be a lot. But you're going to try and, first of all, I would just say, with the TV on, as an example, or you can be reading a book, just spend some time in this position. And you can wiggle around, you can try and grab stuff, you could work on your laptop, like just spending time in this position. This is a lot more comfortable than having both legs straight. However, if you're actually trying to do some stretching, then you can stay here. First of all, trying to sit tall, trying to keep your legs straight, so not bending it. And then you can try and turn towards the leg, and you can try and lean forwards over the leg. And again, you can hold this stretch for about 30 to 60 seconds. Let's change to the other side. So again, I'm actively pushing my bum back so that I'm sitting tall on those two sit bones at the base of your pelvis. Then you're going to rotate, and you can just stay here. This might be a big stretch already, or you can try and lean forwards. Try and reach for your foot. Breathe, breathe. If you get any knee pain in this position, come out, reset. Try again, or maybe it's a no-go, in which case skip this exercise. But if you're getting just an intense hamstring stretch, then great, keep going. and then slowly come back up and relax. Great. So in this first mobility for parkour people, I tried to cover the main muscles that are used a lot in parkour: your quads and hip flexors, your lats, your glutes, and even your hamstrings. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed it, put a like on this video or let me know with a little message. It's always great to hear from you guys. And I'll be back very soon with another mobility exercise.